Hello everyone, welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we finished off, what was the adventure again? The sale of the moving carriage? What was it? Here it is, the adventure of the runaway room. And yeah, we basically got introduced to our introduction to British culture and everything, where basically, if you're rich enough, then you can just delete all problems. Like, you can just falsify evidence, and because technology isn't advanced enough yet, literally no one can say anything different. You know what I mean? It's your word against theirs, and if they have a high influence, then, I mean, you know what I mean? But fortunately, what's it called? We won the trial, even though it basically McGilded's influence doing everything, literally. And as it turns out, somebody decided to burn down the carriage, probably in an effort to destroy all the evidence related to the crime itself. So yeah, in other news, my microphone sounds amazing. Like, seriously, the thing sounds good too. I don't hear any real plosive noises or anything, so there's that. I guess I'll keep this volume for now. It's a bit weird though, because I kind of have to talk close into the microphone, but whatever, right? The volume sounds good, so I won't change it. Though I will have to go into Blender and kind of up the volume a good bit. Oh well. In any event, I guess let's just get into the next episode, which is pretty much my favorite case in this game, literally. Because that's, I guess, the only one you can actually play on its own. You don't need anything from too much from previous cases. So, let's get started, shall we? With Case 4, or Episode 4. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Interesting, okay. So someone, like, stabbed her in the back and just ran. Alright. 19th of February, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court Chief Justice's Office. Yeah, I knew it. So, what? Last case took place at the 18th of February. So that's when they came in. And then... yeah, okay, good. Sorry. Oh, I also apologize if my voice isn't as loud. Again, I'm still getting used to having a microphone like this one fit with like a pop filter and all, so yeah, just bear with it for now. I have to actually learn how to talk into the pop filter and everything. So yeah. Anyways, did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gaslights twinkling, it was brighter than day in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time in the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Yeah. Oh, yes. It really was the sort of night you could only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In our lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Ugh, I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. Ugh, London is a scary place.
Ah, good morning to you at this early hour.
Oh, yes, well. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Susato sounds amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you. And, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh,
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome such young talent from a remote eastern land.
thank you very much. Oh, I'm a lawyer now, huh?
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Another case? Already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
Well, it's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Yeah, but even so, he was cleared just because he was rich, and, well, not because he was rich. He was cleared because we couldn't prove that the evidence was fabricated. So, like, I don't know. But it's a lot like, whatever, it just seems a bit unfair, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know. Crawl for judgments. Been a pleasure. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious he did it, but at the same time, because we don't have enough evidence, well, not evidence, but because we can't find any evidence to prove it, nor to prove other things, he just got declared innocent because that's, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it just seems a bit cheap to me. Anyways, I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGillicuddy really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo! It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial just ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGillicuddy passed away immediately following the trial.
No! What? Mr. McGillicuddy is dead? What the? That's weird. This shit connected. That was odd.
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Yeah? What is wrong with my controller? That was weird. So he died? Immediately. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey.
Oh, he was in the thing. That person that they said was stuck inside the omnibus. That was him. Oh, snap! That is not good at all. Okay.
As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime in which Mr. McGillicuddy had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No. How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak. But already, the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGillicuddy.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside while the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. No, he needs to get fired and then prosecuted. I mean, that's easily a case for him, saying that he has some kind of like not wrongful death, but like negligence. That's the word I'm looking for. And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGillicuddy did mention going back to the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? And why is my pop filter going down all of a sudden? Yeah, it's moving. Okay, that's odd. I'll have to fix that later. Actually, let me fix that now. Hold on a second. Alright, there we go. Everything seems to be fixed. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. Oh, so then at that time he probably... I wonder if... No, I'm thinking maybe he set the fire or something, because he said he was called, so maybe as the bailiff was looking away at something, he snuck in, set the fire to what's the word? To like destroy the evidence, what I was saying earlier. But I guess he got like locked in somehow and like couldn't escape. Maybe. Anyways.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. An inspection of the... Oh, yeah.
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then, who was Mr. McGillicuddy talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Sounds like to me like they're trying to cover up for something. Because like literally we're saying like, whoa, what happened? How did that happen?
Hey, don't worry about it. Leave it to the cops.
Like, you know what I mean? It seems to me like they're trying to cover everything up. Poor Mr. McGillicuddy. Alright.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well. I don't know. I mean, it was just... wow. Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It really is a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
The most advanced in the world, is it?
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned in yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
No. My apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind then. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I have prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What was he gonna say before? Huh. Alright then. I guess let's just talk about the new case already. Guess we don't really get a chance to explore around Great Britain in this era, do we? Huh. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me. It's a murder. And the trial starts in 10 minutes again.
Don't worry. It's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind?
That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's this time tomorrow, then? Is everything alright? Oh, yes. I'm, just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after McGilder's trial.
Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right.
Ugh, here we go again. Jeez, what are these key words? Oh, Ryunosuke is like, oh, I'm unsure, and Lord Strongheart's like, seriously, it's like Ryunosuke saying, oh, I'm unsure, and Lord Strongheart saying,
I mean, there's no one else to defend the client, and if there's no one else, then he's basically gonna die. Like, hey,
he's like literally guilt-tripping us.
Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
And what's that?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
See, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh! Another thing. Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
There's something very important that I have to do, Ryunosuke. Something very important? And what exactly will that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to Great Britain. You're out of time.
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned the sort of thing to me.
I urge you both to focus your attention on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been there?
So, I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
Yeah, I realize my voices literally sound this. I realize my voices for him and Cosmo literally sound the same. So, like, if my voices sound the same, then I'll just have to, like, talk differently to, you know, make it seem like they're two different people. So, you know, honestly though, I really don't know how people like Seth MacFarlane and whatnot like voice so many characters at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but like you get the point. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew. But honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Alright, let's talk to this fool. This, Mario mustached, gray-haired, I don't know what to call him. What is he even wearing? Is that a trench coat? What? Wait, he's wearing a suit and then a trench coat. Whatever. Naughty books. Oh. Okay, floor to ceiling. And they're all books you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream. Yes, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. What about Russia? Why do you ask? I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. Alright, let's talk to this guy here. Could we trouble you? What voice do I give him? Maybe something gruff and thing. Or maybe I should go with Hosanaga's voice. Because, I mean... whatever. What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstarts. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out of your hand, you know. But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to get the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I am ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Huh?
Haven't seen Rexon in a while, have you?
No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Miss Naru's judicial assistant, Eh? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable! How did she pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Does it? I don't know. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rants magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland intruders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not. There is nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what the folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs.
I get the feeling that this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. Alright, now then, I guess let's talk about the case. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
A young woman was walking along the pavement on Prior Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital, unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a suicidal takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprits? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak van Zeeks.
No!
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh, yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. Wow. Imagine that we're just hearing about this guy after we fought against him, literally. Lord Barak Van Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
When Van Zeeks... Oh, I guess what?
When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
What of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendants.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, huh? He's dead.
Ah,
Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So, you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
what are you saying?
Look, if Van Zeeks could get the Dutch stuck on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's just not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? Yeah? So, literally, on the cases he prosecutes, he either kills the defendant by prosecuting them and getting a guilty verdict, or kills the defendant outright? Yeah? Really? And let me guess, because he's rich, more than likely he can cover it up. I mean, look at that royal regalia he's wearing. Literally, like, he looks rich. He could probably just cover it up.
Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So, I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as, shaking like a leaf in the cell he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. I need to give Gregson a bit more of a grizzled voice. I mean, he's a detective, right? Plus, the voice I'm giving him now, I think, is the same voice I kind of give Ben Zeke. So, all right, whatever. So, there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. Sorry. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. Especially when Naruhodo himself was shaking the same way. Literally, huh. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So, I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you'd had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes, let's go. Alright, let's visit the defendants. Again, general rule of thumb during these investigational segments is if Susato says, if on the bottom, Susato basically says, oh, we haven't been here yet, I wonder what awaits us, or we haven't been here in a while, I wonder if anything's changed. That usually means there's something new, and, you know, basically that's where we have to go next. Whereas if she says something like, oh, we haven't been here in a while, I wonder if we missed anything, that usually means we missed evidence. Yeah, that's just something I kind of learned while playing. I don't know, I didn't notice it at first, but like as I was playing through the Great Ace Attorney 2, I kind of noticed it, and I was like, oh, huh, that's nice of them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I guess, let's look at the prison cell. I mean, we should get introduced, I think we should get introduced to the suspected culprit before we can even think of, you know, going out to the crime scene, right? Maybe he'll give us a version of events that we can look at the crime scene and kind of contradict some evidence already. Alright, anyways. 19th of February. Local prison, cell 9. So, these are British prison cells. Well, that doesn't seem so bad. I mean, you get a bed, you get some chains on the wall, a window if you can reach it. Actually, wait, what's outside there now that I think about it? Because you can easily just use the desk and pass the time staring out the window. You got a candle. That's nice. Right? I mean, no? Okay. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Wait, wood? What's stopping the people from just burning it down then? Now that I think about it. Actually, yeah, that's probably why they got the cold stone walls here, so no one burns it down. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't quite make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cut? Us yet with no name? Calling me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly reasonable. I refuse to answer.
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet!
They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Right. So, could I ask?
There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost.
A ghost? Okay, this is the part where we back away slowly and never come back.
We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams! Forgive me for that outburst earlier. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment!
Who could have guessed that this new Lord Client Lord Strongheart had assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese, and a dramatic one at that.
What compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student! Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon!
A first-class lawyer? Oh dear. I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can. I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he has actually a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. notably notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume.
Okay. Soseki Natsume. I believe that was the name of a popular Japanese author, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh, snap. Was he the guy that wrote The Moon is Beautiful Tonight? Was he? I don't think he was. I could be wrong, though. Whatever. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name.
Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
A nom de plume? You mean an alias? Yeah, bro. You're accused of a crime and you're not even telling us your real name? What was his real name, actually? Also, why was Soseki Natsume an unusual name? What does it mean? That's funny. If you search him up, it actually shows his original his real self as well as himself in this game. So that's nice. There you go. Early years. Oh, okay. So his real name is Natsume Kinosuke. Or Kinosuke Natsume, I think. Oh well. Alright. Sorry. Stupid me. I should read some of that though. Anyways.
That's right, Naruhodo-san. No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
And haiku. That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this? It's beyond the pale!
Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here?
No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh.
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it? No! What do you mean? If they'd told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable.
Oh, he's a literature major, but they told him to study the English language. Okay, that's actually a pretty, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a funny mistake, but it makes sense, obviously. Instead of being able to study the language they're saying, he's studying the way they're saying it, if that makes sense. Or like the way they write it. I see.
Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi! You must be a man of great standing. Oh, yes, so I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems. Alright, now, what about the accusation against you for murder?
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I don't know why I'm reading all of a sudden.
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone.
What?
If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to get stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
So, Susaki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Alright, I suppose we could ask him a little more. I mean, we're like 50 minutes in, so I guess we'll just finish up with Natsume's testimony here.
It was an accursed evening, after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I had been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings.
Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a grey overcoat she was, and just as I was about to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible! I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. Well, I mean, he is a poet. I mean, he's pretty used to, like, not fabricating, but exaggerating things.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
That's not good.
They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Susaki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English, and a young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you?
Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one? Oh, great.
So, the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time? That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? A conundrum? The victim was unknown, and there was no one else on the street at the time. I mean, I can't see it creating a conundrum. Oh, right, how did they know it was him? That's right, how did they know it was him? What do you mean, Susaru-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what Susaki-san has just told us is true, then there's something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did!
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit?
What did you just say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Wait, he said what?
Actually, that's not what was troubling me.
What did he even say? He fled without having been seen. Surely this man has to be the culprit? Like, how did you know he was the culprit like that? He literally said he didn't know the victim, there was no one else, and he fled without having been seen. My thing is, why do they think he's the culprit? I'm not sure that he has to be the culprit.
What I was thinking was, how does Soseki-san actually... Yeah, how did he become to be arrested? How was he thought to be the culprit? If not because of... If he just left without having been seen. Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right.
It was him, that accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck.
Accursed great detective? Could it be?
I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his hearty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Sherlock Holmes!
I knew it. Oh, great.
Mr. Sholmes?
Of course Sholmes is involved with this. Literally. The man gives like the wrong deduction on a daily basis. I'm wondering how exactly he became a so-called great detective. I mean, like, seriously. The man thought snakes, had ears, and could drink milk, and could climb up walls. Bruh. Well, I surely didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure.
It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination, devils!
You clearly had a trying morning yesterday.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That's Sherlock Holmes.
It's actually just Sherlock Holmes. He's English.
I've since found out that he's a famous man in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me! This weak-stooped kitten of a man!
I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flummery!
Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
Good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So, I just kept repeating things like, "Yes, I do," and "I'm fine." The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine? You ain't fine now. Again, like, not gonna lie to you, this literally reminds me of like foreign immigrants that like come to America without knowing English. Like, they literally only know a few phrases, and the way we're talking them is normal for us because we're talking in English. And I mean, there's even that slow talking of like, "I am speaking English, can you understand me?" When really they can't. You know what I mean? They come to America to work, to, you know, start a new life, to get that illusion of the American dream. You know what I mean? actually, it kind of, I don't know. This kind of reminds me of that, you know?
Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And we're speaking English. A simple mister is more than enough.
Oh, yes, alright, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour.
A student?
I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
Oh, Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the forensic student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose.
But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh? Who do you mean? The lawyers. All the British lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness! Why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course, the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, this man doesn't even understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
They're wrong. I've studied more English than half the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me, in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Soseki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please.
Huh?
I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
That's we do. And I think here's the best place to end things off. Literally. There's kind of a lot to deal with here, because we're like... That's literally... I mean, I wouldn't say it's... I guess that's kind of... I wonder if that's how people looked at foreigners back in the day. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, he's a foreigner. He doesn't know anything. Plus, that's not even factoring in any of the different stereotypes that people have. I mean, seriously. It's pretty sad, actually, now that I think about it. How people just judge you outright because of your race, because of, you know what I mean? So, that kind of stinks. Anyways, next time, we are going to analyze the crime scene, see what we can find, and yeah. So yeah, I will see you all next time.